Today we have a very special, long-awaited guest, right? The chief. A lot of you guys got to see the chief engaging in the chat last week. He was giving out advice and stuff. People were asking a lot of questions. We are gonna wait just a little bit, Chief, to even just maybe get like one or two people in on the live before we get started.
Okay, that's cool.
Never have a set time
Yeah.
that we go live. We go live when we have the content and when we have the information for them.
Yeah,
But
I don't care. It's all good. Whatever y'all want to do, I'm with y'all.
it's Friday, November. I'm about to say March 3rd. It's Friday, November 3rd, 2023, in the year of our Lord. And just one? No, he just wanted to show them the case and give them a way to.
Yeah, so.
Okay, we got somebody in there. We can kind of.
Oh, okay. Yes, indeed. So we got people in here.
Okay.
We're going to get into some good stuff with the chief. Shout out to the chief.
What's happening?
We're going to make it happen. First things first, like we always like to go into, we're going to go into our stacking and we're going to show some things off. First thing first, for the people out there, I want to give a shout out to Brother Panic, a master teacher and an elder in the community. And he passed, he transitioned yesterday. So want to give a shout out to him. Say RIP, rest in power to Brother Panic. So we want to
Shout out to his family too.
And
Be happy.
love and comfort.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget them.
Yeah, because they need it. They need it.
Oh, you know they do.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna talk about, we always start in stacking, right? So here's I thought here's a good idea. We have these. We're talking about silver in this regard. We have these, if you call them these.
They're numismatic cases.
Yeah, PGCS cases. And what you can do is you stack them. I think they come in 20, and you can stack them with 1 ounce silver. It's a good way to consistently stack, right? Consistently stack.
Yeah.
It's American
And
Civil
to stay on goal.
Stay on goal, because I don't like to have no half empty
Spaces.
case. So I want them all stacked up.
Yeah, y'all a little bit more advanced than me. I ain't got no matic case.
We got stacks for Bitcoin.
We gotta get you one then.
And we gotta stack all kind of digital assets. So let's go ahead and get into it with the chief. What's up, chief?
What's going on?
Before we start, let me just shout out the people. Can you see the chat? Probably not.
Yeah, let me get out a full.
Okay, so I just
Full
want to shout
screen.
out the people in the chat.
Yeah, I can see the chat. Yeah.
KW1, thank you so much for joining. If you know what you know, absolutely, we can absolutely do
Give me
a
1
show
second.
about.
Gotta run in the house for 1 second.
Okay, LLCs, sole props, trusts. We can talk about consistency in disciplined bookkeeping for those of you who have LLCs, who are doing Schedule Cs for your tax return. These things are very important, right? Because it's a way so businesses, they have laws in place to help them keep as much money as possible. It's the everyday person, the W-2, right? So those are people who have 9 to 5 jobs. It is the W-2 person that the IRS really goes after. Have you guys noticed that? You have these businesses like Amazon, Tesla, what other like multi-billion-dollar, Facebook,
Apple,
Meta, whatever they're
Apple,
going by, Apple.
Microsoft.
And
Yeah.
they aren't under the tax structure that an everyday person who needs all of their pennies is under. So if you know what you know, absolutely, we will put together a nice structured show in order to help kind of get people to understand the benefits and the opportunities to operate as a business or even a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
And then make sure you get a. My wife is brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
She is brilliant. So, but make sure she does the taxes, that she understands the tax code. But make sure you get a somebody professional to help you do these taxes, because
Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah, so you might just get that.
And you also have to keep in mind, we got a bunch of dependents.
Yeah.
We got
And plus, you know, it's always good to have somebody whose job it is
yes.
to do taxes, to do it. I mean, for y'all out there saying you want to save a couple $100 and all that, it may not be worth it in the long run. Get you somebody that's their job. You know, I got an accountant. You know, I go to him once a year, twice a year, whenever I need to. I can hit him up for questions or whatever. But, you know, it's always good to do that, y'all.
Yeah, because, you know, if anything comes down, you know, people worry about audits and things like that. You got that paperwork. You got the paperwork to backed up by the accountant, the professional. And
that's the biggest concern.
Yeah, and what I don't like, because I sit in on the tax sessions, but they change they change the rules every year. Every year
they
it's
change
new
the tax
laws.
code.
It's a new law. It says you can file this, you can't do that.
And it's easy to miss, right? Because it's not something that it's got to be on your watch list. I tell you guys about your watch list all the time. They are working diligently to lock you inside and out of algorithms. So it's very important that you keep your watch list in a certain way so news like that come right to you. When they changed it, while they upped the deductible, now it's kind of like so high that it's locking, and this is what I was telling you guys, is they're working to lock out the arbitrage from the everyday person. Right now, we are in a time period, and this is where we're gonna let Grizz just kind of go in. We're in a time period where it's all about the US corporations, right? When you hear that one world government, understand that that one world government structure is about the preservation and the thriving of the US corporation. That's why Charles Schwab's from the World Economic Forum, that's why his slogan is you will own nothing and you will be happy. Because what they really want to do is basically enslave us to the corporations so that they can really get overhead to be zero. It's another reason why there's a rise of AIs. Simon and I were watching the other day. They already have an AI robot, the female, and she was the CEO of some type of alcohol
corporation over there in Europe.
In Europe, but for alcohol, right? They were some type of winery or liquor brand or something like that. And that's a whole 6-7 figure salary that doesn't have to be paid. She doesn't take days off. She doesn't get sick, right? So they have a 24-hour a day quantum computer solving problems, hiring, doing all of the things that they would want a human being to do at $0.00 expense, other than her upkeep and maintenance.
So what do you think about that, Chief? Tell us what you think about that.
Well, shout out to everybody that's out there. First of all, blessings to you and your family. Some of y'all don't want to believe it, but as we say in the real world, you're going to F around and find out. These corporations don't give a damn about you, all right? And, you know, you have to understand that the matrix that we are in, you are a number, you're a commodity, you're a chattel. It don't matter whether you black, white, Asian, it don't matter, okay? The way that they got this paradigm in every single country on this planet, everybody that has a birth certificate, everybody that has the Social Security card. If you look at that little red number, that number that's bold on the birth certificate and the Social Security card, that number means something, and it's traded publicly. So, you know, you don't have to believe me. Just do a little bit of research. You'll go down a rabbit hole that'll split your wig. All right. Yeah, they already have, you know, they have AI robots. They have autonomous robots. Elon Musk is getting ready to replace factory workers to where it's just a minimum staff. It's going to be autonomous robots with arms and legs. They may or may not have a face, but they're going to be doing the job because one, if you a corporation or a billionaire that can have that technology, you ain't got, it's just like y'all said, you ain't got to worry about nobody taking no days off. You ain't got to worry about nobody complaining. You can operate for real 24/7. And KW1 asks, how much does it cost to maintain a robot? When you're a billionaire, it don't matter.
And especially
So
when you're not paying a salary, you're not paying
yeah,
compensation, benefits.
exactly.
And
The
yeah,
upkeep is nominal, and I'm sure they can write it off.
and also
Yeah,
remember the benefits he gets from
Oh,
the government.
well, that's Tesla, right?
yeah.
They get welfare
They
benefits.
people
Yeah.
think he's, he got most of his money from the government.
Yeah, he gets
You
the
know what I'm
welfare
saying?
credit.
I mean, and then the government subsidizes certain corporations and certain peoples to
Especially
do
that.
certain things. Yeah, exactly. Point in case, I'm a retired firefighter for this city that I live in. I'm a current fire inspector, but one of the guys that I work with, he was getting subsidized because he had a farm. You remember Monty Wolf, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
He got a
Yeah,
farm.
Captain
yeah, you
Wolf,
got
I remember him.
Where's
he
this
been had a
farm?
farm. Look, I'm a semi-technical guy. I was helping him out with one of his computers and his phone and stuff. I worked for Apple for about 10 years, y'all. And I was helping him out, and I saw some of his stocks. Man, this cat had like tens of thousands of Amazon stock, and that was back when Amazon had got up to $4,000 per share. I mean, he had a lot of it. He got in early, right? And
Yeah.
some of the little cliques, they'll let each other know, like. So I was like, man, you talking about you need to pay off your truck. All you gotta do is cash a couple of these mugs in. You do that shit tomorrow. And he was like, oh yeah, well, I just keep it, and that's another thing that they do. Just like I'm starting to do. They accumulate assets so that they can pass it on to their kids, their family, so that that wealth can stay in the family. And that's the mindset that y'all got to start getting into, that we need to start getting into, because we was never taught that. The majority of us, some of us was, but the majority of us was never taught that. We need to get into the the process of getting assets, thinking about assets, owning assets instead of cash, thinking about owning property instead of having dollars in the bank. Because to be honest with you, the banks in a little while, man, if banks keep starting to fail, they're gonna bail in. And bailing in is when the depositors' money gets taken to make the bank whole. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is research the Dodd-Frank Act. The Dodd-Frank Act is when they changed that shit in 2009 to where they made it legal for banks to bail themselves out with the customer's money.
But notice they changed the because bailouts, right? People were using that term back in 2008, and bailing out is technically illegal.
It's legal.
So notice, like Grizz is telling you, the act that they wrote, they changed the terminology. Still bailing the bank out, but we're not going to call it that because that's illegal. We're calling it bailing them in.
They bailing in your money so that the bank can be whole, and they don't give a damn about you at
And
all.
that's what's happening with the exchanges, right? So for like BlockFi and a few other of those exchanges that
Celsius.
that is holding some of our precious dear crypto, right? They even SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried is on trial for FTX, right?
No, he ain't. He got convicted of all 7 charges. Guilty.
He did? Is he
Yeah.
gonna go to prison? I missed that.
Well, that's going to be decided in April, and probably not, because
That was quick.
Oh yeah, I mean the jurors. It came out today. The jurors, they deliberated for about an hour, and they was like, "Nah, this cat guilty, man.
Guilty is sin, right?
Guilty as hell." But
So what
the
was
thing about it,
was, go ahead, Grizz.
well, the thing about it, when you funding these politicians with other people's money in the guise of being on a crypto exchange, man, them politicians, he'll probably do a year of minimum security prison time, just so he can go away and get out of sight, out of mind, and then you gone for about a year or two. Then next thing you know, he back to his own his next scheme. Yeah,
Yes.
just like Bam said, you're gonna slap on the wrist and be in another company soon, just like I said. So Bam he got his third eye open. He know what's up. That's how they operate. That's how they operate, y'all. So getting back to assets, when it comes, we need to stop thinking about having money in the bank, because cash is literally trash. We give cash its importance.
It's
Human
utility.
beings and non-ether beings alike give cash its utility. Paper money, fiat currency ain't really worth nothing, man. They didn't debased it so much to where it's literally not worth anything. So,
but they debased it on purpose, and that's part
yeah,
of what we're trying to like get out, so that people think like,
understand.
oh, that's the natural evolution of money. The fiat currency always fails, it always has. But just understand that in this day and this time, they destroyed it on purpose, because what they
It's the
want to do
natural.
is establish that new world
Yeah,
order. They're going
yeah,
to introduce the CBDCs in a way that is actually against the initial premise that we wanted it established. They're going to
yeah,
utilize that as the social credit program that China currently has in place.
Oh yeah.
Very
Yes, indeed.
socialistic China, right? So
yeah,
when you got people like us out here talking the truth, social credit score go down, right?
yeah,
Now you can't buy groceries at the supermarket. Now the tow truck ain't gonna come get your car. Now you can't even get in to such and such building, right?
yeah.
Until your
That's how
credit
it's
score
gonna
come
be.
up. And I
It's gonna be
heard
really
that one of the ways,
dystopian.
very dystopian, very George Orwell, 1984. One of the ways I heard that people have to get their credit score up, and I'm not sure, I want to vet this, but I heard one of the ways to get the credit score up is to they have to like rate the system and talk about how great the system is and how beneficial it is to society and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Two, when your social credit score go down in China, and this is facts, y'all go look this up. They have a big, ginormous, gigantic digital billboard by plazas, places where people frequent, and they just run your mugshot, your ID picture,
Put you
and
straight
show
on
you.
blast.
They put you on blast and show, and it's a way to humiliate you, debase you, but it's also a way to make patrons and other people aware, like, oh, I can't really do business with you right now. Your
Yeah,
credit score is low. And if
yep,
a phone comes in contact with the phone that has a low credit score, that credit score goes down. So it's a way to isolate people as well.
yep,
And
yep.
that
And
is
y'all
what the
gotta
United
understand.
States. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. What I was getting ready to say is that is, when she's talking about credit score, she ain't talking about your credit file for Experian and all that. She's talking about your social credit score. That shit is coming into play. And if you think it ain't, just wait a couple of years. They are systematically implementing things because they didn't already got people herded. They got us all herded. We've all been indoctrinated at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that you was indoctrinated when you was growing up in school, I'm 54 years old. When you was growing up in school, when you was in class and you stood up and you pledged allegiance to a piece of fabric called a flag, that's indoctrination. Okay? And you did that shit and didn't even know it. I was in the military too, just like y'all was. That's part of indoctrination too. Yeah, I'm reaping some of the benefits from it, but when you get wiser and you understand some of the things that's been done over the course of your life that these corporations and these establishments do, they are not doing things in your best interest. They are doing things in their best interest. We have been divided so much as a people that it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for things to come back to where the real people will be in charge of our own lives. We ain't in charge of nothing, to be honest with you. You think
So
you are,
can
but you ain't.
So KW1 had a question. She wants us to kind of explain it in detail. So when Grizz talked about the indoctrination, one of the ways they've been indoctrinating us is by an actual credit score, right? So if you have a credit
Yep.
score of 700 or better, you typically don't have an APR, right? You
Yep.
typically don't have, for those credit cards that have, what do they call, a finance fee, the annual finance fee or whatever, you
Yeah.
typically don't have to pay that. You can do $0 for like 6 months, same as cash. They have a lot of benefits when your credit score is high. And you know, when your credit score is low, you can often be denied credit. You don't get as nice of a car, right? You have to,
Yep.
if you do get a credit card, it's at 39%
Yeah.
interest, something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, for
So what
real.
they're going to be doing now is they're destroying the system in a sense, KW1, in order to establish a new system. Currently, this system is in place in China. So when we talk about social credit score, they have a system or a structure, kind of like Uber. I don't know how much you guys use Lyft and Uber in the US. I would imagine a lot of people do. Think about during the pandemic, if you had a low Uber score, you have to wait longer for Ubers. You weren't eligible for Uber Black. You weren't eligible for Uber SUV. You may have to do carpool Uber. You have the lowest tier available to you if Uber drivers are giving you low ratings for not wearing your mask, if Uber drivers gave you a low rating because you're rude or y'all were loud or you threw up in their car. So that's another form of indoctrination, right? They've been already piloting this program like Yelp, right? Think about how many people go on Yelp and complain about restaurants and stuff like that. They don't get as many patrons. I think Google also had Google reviews. That used to be really big. I haven't seen it as big in the last few
But also
years.
too, what we got to talk about, because I don't know how many people out there use Airbnb, but they're
Mhm.
also doing the same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
So,
I just got an Airbnb last month.
yeah, and so they want you, you know, they're gonna rate you as a customer, and
Right.
then you're
Yep.
gonna rate the host.
So now you can get Airbnbs immediately. You don't have to wait for the host to get back to you to accept. You're eligible for super hosts. Like we have all of that because we're a family and they typically like, because they get to charge us a whole bunch because it's a whole bunch of people staying in their house. But
Yeah.
what the United States is going to want to do, and this is what we were talking about with the smart cities, right? They're going to establish some type of structure with the social credit score, and they're going to use it based on carbon footprinting.
Yep.
So what does that mean? That means how much are you doing every day, right? Are you driving too far? Are you like making unnecessary trips? They're gonna start to restrain and restrict your activity, the things you want to do, the things you want to eat, the things you want to buy, based on if you behave and do what they tell you, or if you're going to be rebellious and kind of have issues. We don't like your YouTube content. We don't like what you've been watching on YouTube. We're gonna bring the score
Right.
down.
And
They're gonna
also,
have various mechanisms
don't forget your energy output. So
in your energy
they're
output.
gonna do that from the energy companies, where they're using you know, regular, as we have, like lined in energy, or you know, also even the LP gas.
Right.
You
Yep.
know how much you're using of that, and then put like they got a large carbon
Footprinting,
footprint
and we're
output.
gonna restrict that. And when you don't behave, it's gonna get to the point where the smart city is designed to be literally a supermax prison. You will
Yeah.
get
You're gonna
locked
be
down if
you're
you
gonna be
don't do
locked
what
in
you're
that
supposed to
mug.
do. Mm-hmm.
You
You'll
know,
be grounded.
these people think that, you know, smart cities and shit is all cool and all that, but it's, yeah, they got some cool features, but it's a double-edged sword. You know, just like that, they making a city right now over in the United Arab Emirates to where it's gonna be a fucking line. All right, it's gonna be so. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can cut. I'm raw, y'all. I keep it. I'm sorry, but fuck. But no, it's. I'm sorry, Gordon. Hey, that's gonna bring my social credit score down because I
Yes,
said
it
the F word.
is. We're
On
about to
some
put
real
you on
stuff,
mute.
that's what they're gonna do. But getting back to what I was saying, it's a city that they're building right now to where it's gonna have its own ecosystem. It's gonna have its own weather, all of that inside this city. And it's gonna be so wide and it's gonna be so many miles long, and everything is gonna be in there. You ain't gonna need to come up out of it. what is that? That's
Right.
a damn prison.
No
Whether
car,
you,
right?
yeah, like I
Everything's
mean,
within walking distance. No car,
everything
no
was in
plane,
walking
no train.
distance. To me, that's not freedom. That's not
And it's not
freedom at all,
convenient.
man.
It's
Another
not
thing,
convenient.
you're gonna have to have a global ID pretty soon.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go beyond passports. You're getting your passport stamped and all that. Nah, you're gonna have a global ID. And if it comes up, if your social credit score is not at a certain height, your global ID will not allow you to travel.
Right.
You're
And
gonna be
even
stuck.
within the super city, so the Abu Dhabi one, we did a show on it, guys. You can go back and see that show. That is with everything you kind of walk, everything's going to be self-contained. But the
Yep.
smart cities in the United States are going to be like little teeny tiny neighborhoods, and
Yep.
you can only travel within 15 minutes of your little teeny tiny neighborhood. You will have
Yep.
to get permits or permission in order to travel outside of that 15 minute radius.
Yes.
So for those of you guys who were alarmed last show about all of the Wells Fargo bank branches, all of the Chase branches that were shutting down, they're not shutting down because they're going out of business. No, that's not what they're doing. They're performing something called a consolidation. What they're
Yep.
going to do, they're consolidating their branches so as the smart cities are being planned, they can properly plan and make sure that there is a Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, et cetera, branch within that 15-minute drive, because everything has to be contained in that 15-minute radius.
Yeah.
And with that, because they got some here in Bank of America. I opened up a Bank of America account because they're going to utilize, which mostly all the banks is going to utilize XRP, and we're going to touch on XRP in a little bit. But Bank of America is almost a personless bank. You gotta, if you want to talk to a banker, you gotta make an appointment, and it may be days out. But when you go to Bank of America, you use your card to get into it to use a teller. Ain't nobody in the damn bank at all. It's crazy. And y'all, we have to understand that things are changing. Back to smart cities. One of the first smart cities in the United States is going to be where they had that fire, that so-called wildfire. It's going to be in Hawaii. They
Yes.
did that for a reason.
Yep.
Now, some people that's in here and outside of here that may be viewing this, oh, they wouldn't do that. Man,
Yes, they would.
please. If they
And they
go to
did.
different countries and they blow up different stuff, why don't you think that they wouldn't do, if this is going to benefit them? Excuse me, there's a motorcycle going past. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in my garage. This a fake background, y'all. Like I said, I keep it real and shit.
I want
But
to
it's
shout out Shabbat Shalom, Chapel House Love. Hi, Dear Bit, you made it. Dear Bit always
what's going on, y'all?
alive. Dear Bit, I'm so happy you here. I'll be happy to see your name and your chat and stuff.
Yeah, but Hawaii gonna be one of the first. It's gonna be one of the first smart cities. But I think the one that's gonna come up before then, because the financial power and the overall power right now is being shifted to the east. America's time has come, and we are at the last leg of the United Corporation of America, because this is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little research. The United States is a corporation. The real country is in DC. Do a little research. The rabbit hole that you will go down will blow your mind.
Crazy. It's crazy. Tell them about the flag.
Empire City.
Well, tell them about
Empire of the
what
City.
Chris
Yep.
is explaining is the United States is actually part of something called an Empire City.
Mm-hmm.
So what they established is, and this is why DC seems to be sovereign in a sense. Like,
yeah, it can't be touched.
The Vatican is sovereign.
Sovereign. That's a country. The Vatican is a country.
Is also sovereign in a sense. So they're part of what's called Empire City. Washington, D.C. is their military arm. the Vatican is the spiritual arm, and London is the economic arm. This is one
Yep.
of the reasons why when presidents are inaugurated, they
Yep.
always have to go over to Buckingham Palace at the
And
time,
kiss the
get
ring.
get kind of coronated in a sense by the queen, now the king.
King of the
They got to
world.
kiss the ring.
They got to kiss the ring.
They don't show it. They
Like
don't show it.
Godfather style.
They got to bow down to the king and kiss, or the queen, and kiss the ring, because the United Corporation or United States of America is on loan from the UK or Britain.
But London especially, right? Because that's their sovereignty. And then Rome, the Vatican is their sovereignty. And then DC is our sovereignty. And it forms this triangle, right? You have the military, you have the spiritual, because understand all of this is spiritual, all of it.
All of it.
All of it. And then you have the economic arm, which is London. Just look up Empire City. You'll see a red flag with 3 gold stars. And it will tell you all of the history about this Empire City that we're a part of. And like Grizz said, the United States is a corporation. So the president is not the president of the country. It's just a term of the land.
He's a CEO, basically.
Land
He's a
law.
CEO.
He's the CEO. He's the chief executive officer of the United States Corporation. And
all he is a figurehead.
He
ain't making no decisions, no real decisions. He gets told what to do. We think for all these years we was thinking like, oh man, the president, man, shit. Them mugs, man, they get told what to do.
But we understood that for those of you, I don't think anybody on here is old enough to have witnessed the live murder of JFK, right? But that's why JFK was murdered. JFK previously did a speech that talked about how he will not tolerate a shadow government calling the shots for the United States citizens.
Yes.
And then they blew his head off live on television during the workday.
And he had, I mean, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but he did have those ties into the mafia.
Yeah.
Because of Father Joseph Kennedy.
Well, there's a criminal ties, but the reason that he was assassinated, right?
Everybody agreed.
Is due to not tolerating a shadow government calling the shots. And notice that the president that succeeded him did not run to be president. He just finished out the term, went about his business.
Yeah, and it was because of that, the shadow government stuff, and it was because of so-called money. And guys, I say so-called money because the fiat currency, the paper dollars that you guys fold and put in your wallets, put in your purse, put in your billfold, that is not real money. Real money is silver and gold. Real money is what they just showed you in that box. I got some upstairs. It's in my safe. When it comes to real money is gold and silver. That's God's money. It's a reason why if you go to the us.debtclock.org, you'll see that there's a question mark where gold and silver is. It's kind of vague because they're going to reprice gold and silver.
Never noticed.
What y'all say?
I said I never noticed there was a
Go to us.debtclock.org. You'll see it. It's got all the debt for every country. And then
I seen that. I haven't seen the question mark for the silver and gold. I said I didn't notice that.
They added crypto to it too.
Yes, I did see that.
And when it comes to crypto, y'all gotta understand when you dealing with crypto, if you new to crypto, don't mess with no Doge, which Gordon.
We bought a whole computer with those.
Shout out
Hell
to
yeah, I mean, but but y'all got in at the right time.
Yeah.
You want to have something that has utilitarian value, okay?
Yes.
And when I say utilitarian value, I'm talking about what is it going to do? Is it going to provide liquidity for markets? Is it going to provide some type of security? What is it going to do? Is it meme tokens is not something that's going to be a viable thing that y'all can have and hold and get profitable. It'll be very profitable in the future, okay? To be honest with you, okay? So are you on a laptop?
Yeah, but it doesn't, the screen, we don't know why when we watch the playback, the screen never
go to one of y'all I ain't gonna say Gordon because I know he probably ain't got no damn phone. But go to your phone and go to the browser and just type in usdebtclock.org, and then go down to the bottom right. You'll see that right now it says dollar to silver. It has an asterisk and it says 0 per ounce. Then it says dollar to silver ratio 5 year, $1,557 per ounce.
Man, that would be lovely.
Hell yeah, shit. Then it says dollar to silver ratio 1913, $2.70 per ounce. And then it says dollar to silver ratio 10 years.
Yeah.
$1,120 per ounce. Right underneath that, asterisk, dollar to gold per ounce.
12,500.
Yeah. Okay. That's in the 5 year mark. So what's going to happen? They're going to reprice gold and silver. And the reason why is because fiat currency is not sustainable. And the reason why it's not sustainable is because people, humans, always corrupt it. That's what happened to Rome. Rome collapsed upon itself because of currency. It wasn't nothing else. It didn't get conquered, none of that. It was because when it came to the little shekels or whatever the hell the name of it was, they was breaking it off. They was melting it down, putting different minerals in it to try to make it, more, to seem more real. But it was because of currency.
Yeah, because remember they were shaving off the edges.
Yeah.
Making it like you said.
It's all because of greed, man. People get greedy.
And different metals and stuff. Yeah, people get greedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they say.
The debasement.
Yeah, the debasement of currency. And like we said, our great president, Richard Milhouse Nixon, took the dollar off the gold standard in 1971.
Yeah, he was ordered to do that.
It was supposed to be temporary, and here we are, 50
years
later.
Yeah,
off the standard. But,
a whole senior citizen later.
Yeah, off the standard. But what did they do before that? They made people turn their gold in.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
They made them.
Confiscated it in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they confiscated it in a nice way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, in a nice way.
But they won't be as nice the second time.
Nah.
They're gonna.
That's why it's gonna pay. That's why it's gonna pay for y'all to have some digital assets. Okay, digital assets that are ISO 20022 compliant. ISO 20022 is a messaging client. Okay, there's a thing called Swift that handles messaging for different corporations in different countries to transport value over banks and all of that. Okay. Right now, what they're doing with the reason, let me just break it all down. The reason why they brought in crypto is because with crypto, they want to be able to move value, anything for anything, at the speed of light. Just like when you send if I was to send Gordon an email and he gets it in less than a minute, they want money to move that way. They want value to move that way. It makes no sense. Think about it. It only makes sense. There should be no way in hell to where I can communicate with y'all immediately. But when I want to send some currency to you, you got to wait 3 to 5 business days. That's ridiculous. The big corporations, the big governments, the big banks, they don't want that to happen anymore because it's not sustainable, because it costs too much money. It costs too much currency to move value from here to there. They have to park capital in nostro vostro accounts. There's trillions, there's hundreds of trillions, there's quadrillions of dollars. Okay, fiat currency just sitting in accounts, in different countries, just dormant. So that if the U.S. wants to do, if the U.S. want to do business with Saudi Arabia, they got to go through that. They got to take some money out of nostro vostro accounts. The accountants there got to make sure that it's right. The accountants over here got to make sure that it's right. The communication, once the communication happens, 9 times out of 10, some of the value is lost because there is the error. And if there's an error, they got to start the process all over. That's why cryptocurrency is here. You know, the test. you know, I tell people all the time, Bitcoin is a store of value. Okay, Bitcoin was the first one on purpose. It was created on purpose, and I think it was created by the NSA. Okay, because I'm serious.
I
Think
do. I
about it.
want to hear this. You know, I
I
love
think
these
it was
stories.
I think it was created by the NSA or an alphabet agency because they had to move everybody into the digital age. We was already in the digital age, but we going into the quantum age. They had to move everybody into the quantum age. We moved into the digital age when you could take a little card and go to a thing called an ATM, automatic teller, and get currency out of it. Okay, that was the digital age. That was decades ago. Now we're moving value on things like this. Okay, it's the reason why this device can do so much. This has a quad core processor in it. Why does it have that? So that it can move at the speed that it needs to move at. I got a Mac computer that I'm on. It has an M1 processor in it. It's one of the fastest processors. Yeah, she looked at
He
you
was
like,
like,
yeah, get
why
one.
your laptop so heavy?
So, like you said though, to drill down on that, so it can move as Michael Saylor says at the speed of light.
Yeah.
He a rocket scientist, y'all.
Yep. And it's the reason why he's buying up as much Bitcoin as he can. But don't think that that's the only thing that he's buying. I'm telling you, a lot of these mugs, the reason why Ripple, the company Ripple, who created the digital asset XRP, the reason why the SEC sued them, the former head of the SEC sued him on a day that he was leaving. The day that he was leaving, he sued the company Ripple, saying that the digital asset XRP was a what's that shit called? Not a commodity.
He said not a security.
It was a security. Okay. So 3 years later, courts said, nah, it's not a security. It's a currency. It's a digital currency that's used to provide liquidity. And the reason why it was done like that is coming out now is because the banks needed time to get in. Okay. If you think for one moment, think about this. It only makes sense. If you think for one moment that the legacy infrastructure, the banks, the big banks, what do they call them big banks? Damn.
The tier ones?
Tier one.
Yeah, the tier, but no,
legacy banks?
It's called something else. Oh God. JP Morgan is one of them. But if you think big banks like JP Morgan and JP Morgan, Chase, Citi, all of them, if you think for one moment that they are going to let digital currency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM, XDC, if you think that they're going to allow the majority of the masses own that without any authority, without any of their input, you are crazy as hell. I'm telling you, they will bring the tanks, just like Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, said. They will bring in the tanks in the streets of the U.S. and they will threaten to kill everybody before that happens because it's too much value involved. All right, the reason why they created Ripple created XRP is because they needed something that was going to be fast. And that was going to be, you will be able to move value for less than a penny on the dollar. So if I
and to take care of settlements in real time.
Take care of settlements in real time. If I use the XRPL, the XRP ledger to move value to you, it happens within 5 to 7 seconds. All right. So whenever I buy XRP, that shit's in my wallet within 5 seconds. Bam. The Lightning Network was created to try to move Bitcoin a little bit faster, but Bitcoin is now one of the legacies. Ethereum is one of the legacies. That's why it costs so much. That's why it takes so long to move it, because it wasn't created to be able to scale like some of these other assets like XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, Quant. Yeah, Stellar Lumen is XLM. Quant, IOTA. All y'all got to do is do a Google search, get on the Google machine, and get on the Google machine and just Google ISO 20,022 tokens, and then it'll list all of them. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up on a computer. But the reason why they created that is because they need to move value way faster than what they're doing right now. Okay.
They need to establish some type of settlement, payment, transfer, wire within real time. Think about in the olden days when you had to wire money.
Yeah.
And it cost a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
It took a whole bunch of days. And how many times did people's wires get
Lost?
Do you remember our wire got lost for 2 days?
Yeah. And you know, you want like, where the hell is my money? You're like, what? I know he's like, what the hell? You know, it's crazy.
They found it.
Yeah.
But it's not, and you know, that's just, what was that? $17,000. Can you imagine if you had 17 million or 170 million or, you know, 1.7 billion? And it's like, well, where is it?
These tokens were created, especially ones like the ones that has X's in front of it. The reason why it has an X in front of it is because it's sovereign. It's not connected to any country or any organization. Okay. All right. That's why it has the X in front of it. All right. And they were created to move value at the speed of light, but they were also created to move quadrillions of dollars. They were created to handle all of the money in the world. And when I'm talking about money, I'm talking about gold, silver, real estate, anything that you can think of that has value, because we are in the internet of value right now. Okay, that's what we in. Anything that has value, these tokens that have utilitarian value will be able to move that value at the speed of light in seconds. Okay, that's what they want. That's what they're creating. They're in the process of creating, and it's going to happen. And when it happens, it'll probably drop on a Sunday night, Monday morning. You'll be using it and won't even know that you're using it. Right. That's how they do shit. And that's the way it's going to happen. They know right now that people like us that are into cryptocurrency, and I don't like to say crypto because crypto is kind of cryptic. It kind of puts like a bad vibe to it. Whenever you hear crypt, you think of the grave. All right. I mean, that's how some people think. I like to say digital assets. People who own digital assets is across the world is less than I think it's less than 1%. It might be growing now, but I know it's less than 5%. Okay, of the human beings in the world that own digital assets. All right, they want to bank the unbanked. They want to bank the bankless, and your bank is right here. This is your bank. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna be y'all. That's why these banks are. That's why these banks are closing down or slimming down. They trimming the fat because they ain't gonna need all the people when they're working. They ain't gonna need all the stuff. You're gonna be able to do everything over your phone.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be self-service, and they've already indoctrinated us to that. That's what our app is for. When Simon and I first got married, y'all, this is how long we've been married. When we used to do the house bills, we had a checkbook and we had the ledger in the back of the checkbook. We had one checkbook we used to share so that we didn't mess up the ledger. Do you remember that? Yeah. This is way before you could just go. Now he'd be like, okay, Aaron, what does it look like? And we go on the ledger together and we look like, okay, this came out, that came out, that came out. Okay, we're going to buy some more assets with this and so on and so forth. But this is just what Grizz was saying in the very beginning about the indoctrination. That's why he said on Sunday night, this is going to roll out. Monday morning, you're going to be using it and don't even realize you're using it because that's how they've always done things. They've always baby stepped you into some sort of indoctrination. So what we need to do is indoctrinate ourselves. The world try to teach you pay your bills first. No.
Pay yourself first.
There you go. That's an old school. So I came from old school Dave Ramsey style. He told you pay yourself first. And, you know, no matter what, it might be $25. It could be whatever it is. Pay yourself first. Like he said, pay yourself first. in assets.
Right.
Right.
And like he said, $25, when you think about that, $25 to $30 is just 1 ounce of silver that you can
Yeah.
put right into that case. And you know, I'm good this pay period.
Yeah.
Next pay period, we're going to put another one in there.
Yeah.
And that's just, one of the examples. But Grizz, we do want to get to the chat. People have some questions for you. I do want to shout some people out.
All right.
Daquan Williams, I didn't get to shout you out. Welcome, Daquan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Bam, I do want to shout out Bam Hardrick. Bam Hardrick and his family, and I tell y'all this every show, they're an incredible family. They have an organic chicken farm. Recently, Bam's wife, Mrs. Bam Hardrick, was able to quit her job to pursue her dreams. So for those of you who are friends with them on Facebook, go find them on Facebook. Let's support and say congratulations to her for pursuing her dreams and just having such an awesome Black family that we can absolutely be proud of. That's why I shout y'all out every show. I be so proud of the Black family.
Well, yeah, because ain't nobody else proud of us. Shit, we got to be proud of ourselves.
I'm proud. We proud of y'all.
Bam, I'm sorry. I'm gonna answer Bam's question. You asked me to rank my top 5 holdings. Okay, so if you're talking about me personally, what I hold or what I think I should hold, to me, to be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie, I'm an XRP maxi, because once I found out what it was being used for to move value and for liquidity purposes, the reason why we're in the situation that we're in financially now in the whole entire planet is because liquidity. There is a liquidity crisis going on right now. That's why the interest rate is, they tried to, I don't know, I think they're just doing that to mess us up purposely, but increasing the interest rate is not helping at all. They know it, so now they're going to be a little bit more dovish on it. We're in a liquidity crisis. My top holdings is XRP, okay? One that I think is going to be one of the more valuable ones. To me, in my mind, XRP, XLM, XDC. Those are the 3 that I have the most of. Quant. Okay. Quant is the overledger. Quant is the internet of digital assets, period. Quant allows the XRP ledger to communicate with the Lightning network. Okay. Quant is going to connect everything. Okay. I got a little bit of Algorand. I got okay amount. I don't have as much as I think that I should have, because I'm trying to be a billionaire. I ain't gonna lie. I got only hold 1 Bitcoin, and I hold 1 Bitcoin because I know Bitcoin by 2030 is going to be $1 million. It's going to be, because once all of this stuff starts to play out the way it plays out, all these assets that we're talking about is going to have a floor. If you look at Plan B, there's a guy, just research Plan B. His stock to flow model is on point. And it's fluctuated a little bit, but when you look at the candles for Bitcoin, it looks like a staircase and it keeps going up. Yeah, it pulls back like all assets do. All assets will go up, they'll pull back, cool off, accumulate, so they'll go sideways. They might go sideways in an upward motion. They might even dip down and go down, but that sideways motion is accumulation. And then when you get close to like the Bitcoin halving, which is next year, you're gonna start to see all these assets start to go up. Bitcoin will go up, and then it's gonna pull everything else up with it. But I'm telling y'all, after this one, Gordon and Aaron, after this one, after this bull run / bull cycle, because it's gonna be a cycle. I think Solana is going up to KW1. Solana, the reason why Solana dipped down so much is because FTX bought a shit ton of Solana. So it was involved in all that FTX stuff. But you better believe that Solana is going to go up. I got me some Solana. I do not have as much as I wanted to have, because when Gordon first got me hip to Solana, when I first started this crypto journey, Solana was $400 a token.
Yeah,
400. You remember that? It reached about 432. Okay. It went down. I grabbed me some. I didn't grab as much as I should have because I was too damn cheap. I ain't spend no money to make no money, but I got some other stuff that I'm betting on. I ain't hoping. I'm betting on that's gonna get my family to the point to where we can become our own bank. All right, and we're gonna go over that in a second too. But Yeah, Solana is going to be a good one too. If you own a lot of Solana, do not sell it until it gets over $400. If you look on CoinMarketCap and go to the all-time high, I think the all-time high was $432. Okay, Bitcoin got up to 69,000 and some odd dollars. It's gonna this next cycle, I think it's gonna go over 100,000. Probably get to about 120, something like that. Hopefully.
But I do want to say this,
Go ahead.
Greg. Right? I know that we champion and we cheer on Bitcoin at 100,000, but I want y'all to understand the ramifications of 100,000 Bitcoin. Right? That means the dollar has completely, I want to say, self-destructed. Okay, that they couldn't really prop it up anymore. It will also be the trigger of the beginning of, we're already in the new world order,
Yeah.
but it'll be the trigger, the beginning of your awareness.
Yeah, of the dollars
inside of
devaluing.
this new paradigm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. But
And it'll be a way to transition people into that new paradigm.
so I don't want y'all to start panicking and getting rid of all of your cash, okay? Because
This
cash,
ain't about panicking. It's about preparing.
yeah, no, I'm just talking to people out there that may not actually know. Cash will go away at some point, but cash is everywhere. The US dollar, which is the world reserve currency right now, and it may not be by 2025, 2030.
Won't be.
But it's in so many areas and it's then ran down so many avenues. In order for it to go totally bye-bye, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take at least anywhere between 15 to 20 years for cash to be totally non-existent. Okay?
It's going to take a while for the cash circulation to be non-existent, but just understand with the road mapping of BRICS nation, countries that are trying to do business, utilizing other settlements,
Yep.
right? That's why we talked about XRP and Stellar Network. Understand that those dollars are going to end up coming back home.
Yep.
And that's going to create a hyper, I don't know if there's a term for it yet, because it's the first time we've
Hyperinflation.
ever seen any, but a hyperinflation,
Yeah.
maybe like hyperinflation on crack,
Yeah.
right? On steroids.
It'll be to where you just
So
throw the
this is
dollar
why
out
we
in the
have
street
these
like it ain't
shows.
worth nothing.
And like he said, right, while that takes a while, and y'all know Simon always telling y'all, yes, these things take a little bit, but once that big, gigantic steamroller starts to move, it is going to crush everybody
Yep.
in its path. So these shows are really about us taking our time and preparing. Every single pay period, stack your precious metals, stack your Bitcoin, dollar cost average, whatever utility that you're utilizing.
Yep.
You still want to have a little bit of cash on the sidelines. I think that's important because right now we're also understanding that we're not just stacking assets, we're also stacking things that our homes need,
Yep.
right? Now, I'm not going to digress too much, but I'm just going to give you guys a friendly reminder. They are taking the over-the-counter medications off the shelves,
Yep.
right? We talked about this, but they're also taking supplements off the shelves. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Katy Perry went and bought apple cider vinegar with the mother. It's called what is the name of the brand? It's gonna drive me crazy.
I'm not.
Somebody in the chat. It's the apple cider vinegar with the mother. It come in the orange bottle. I would have to get up and go downstairs and grab the bottle to see what it's called. Bragg's. It's Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Katy Perry bought it, and she's using Bill Gates' apples from a peel in order to create it, right? So now you don't have that as a supplement to keep your immune system up anymore.
Yep.
Okay? So that's one. Two, they're slowly taking your oreganos, they're taking your extra virgin olive oils, adding stuff in it. They are trying to find ways to depress you and oppress you in a way where they can control you.
Yeah.
And if they can control your immune system, they're controlling your mind. If they got your mind, they got your money.
Yeah.
So this is why it's Bragg's. Yep. Thank you, D Ondemov. Also, real quick, I didn't get a chance to say, but D Ondemov gave us a really sweet comment that Heavy didn't get to see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She said, "I love you both. As individuals, you're great. As a couple, you guys are fantastic. All caps. Thank you so much for being you." And I thought that was really sweet.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much.
KW1.
KW1 mentioned H bar.
Yeah, H bar. You want some of that too? I got a few. I got some H bar. if
That's
go
Hashgraph,
to
right?
Hashgraph is a token that's. Remember when y'all told me to look at the hidden secrets of money? The last episode he
Yes.
mentioned Hashgraph. Hashgraph is another
He had a whole
protocol.
show on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Mike
another.
Maloney.
Yeah, Mark Maloney. It's another protocol that's a valuable protocol. It's more, the tokens are more used more for security. But if you go to Hedra, HBAR is the acronym for Hedra Hashgraph. If you go to Hedra, HEDERA.com, it'll show you the governing council. When you look at the governing council, hit the play button. Let me just tell y'all some of these corporations that's in the governing council. Avery Dennison, Boeing, Chainlink, Kafra, DBS, Dell, Dentons, Deutsche Bank, Telecom, DLL Piper, EDF, Epcos, FIS, Google, IBM, LG. I don't need to say nothing else.
Now, I do want to tell you something, right? So, for those of you, I should have, if we'd have thought about it, I'd have put it in a link so that they can see it. Because that was from like 2012, 2013. What they're doing, Grizz, is the World Economic Forum is looking at the protocol for Hashgraph.
Yep.
So for those of you who are not familiar with it, the protocol was, his vision was that in order to keep things honest, keep the line honest, as my husband would say, like if you were selling a house, a car, a horse, an item, it would be on the blockchain. So it's easily verified. It's verified in real time. The transaction happens in real time, and it reduces scamming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It has it in the chat. Y'all take a look at this. What the government wants to do, what the World Economic Forum, when I say the government, I mean the world government. So whenever you hear me say the government, now I don't mean the U.S. government, I mean the world government. What they want to do is they want to copy that particular protocol in a way to know who owns what, and to me, to see who owns what, to have it on the blockchain. That means they want to figure out a way to misappropriate, appropriate, commandeer. Like, remember, Charles Schwab's slogan for the World Economic Forum is, "You will own nothing and be happy." So what they are thinking about doing, and right now this is just in talks, they want to use a similar protocol to that to put everything on the blockchain where they can have an itemized account of who owns what it's worth, what the value is, when it was, when it changed custody from one party to another, so on and so forth. So for nefarious reasons. Now, the guy from Hedra Hashgraph had it in order to protect the consumer, right? We all know about Craigslist. How many times and the term is rehypothecation. How many times they rehypothecate an item, meaning I'm selling this item for $10, let's say. And then KW1's like, "I'll buy it." Sure. She sends me the money. She doesn't have the item in her possession. And then I turned around and sold it to D. And then I turned around and sold it to Michael Lawrence. Shout out to Michael Lawrence for joining us. Thank you so much for joining.
Shout out, sir.
So I
Yes,
got
sir.
$40, $50, $60 for this one thing that nobody has in their possession. They do it with precious metals as well.
It's a big.
Go ahead, Dave. Just
Well, I
explain
was
that
just
real
gonna say it's a big problem with precious metals, especially when it deals with gold because of the amount of when you go to the COMEX, and you know I don't want to get too deep down here, but the COMEX to get your contracts, and nobody stands for delivery. So it's easy to do the rehypothecation because nobody's standing for delivery. If people stand for delivery, then you can't rehypothecate the gold and the silver.
Right.
But
It goes back to, not your keys, not your cheese.
Yeah.
Right? If you
Your
ain't
keys,
home,
not your cheese.
you don't own it.
On some real stuff.
Right. So understanding the utility of having physical assets, right? That's very important. Not that we don't have paper assets. We absolutely do as part of our portfolio. It does have a utility, but we also have physical assets. So we know when it's time to transfer to our children, we actually have something to transfer to them. One more example of that is apartments. Notice that when people are looking for apartments, you have to pay that $250, $350, whatever that application fee is. 15 people filled out the application fee for apartment 4B. Only one person gets that apartment. It is a way of rehypothecating that apartment.
Yep.
Right? And people do that as scams. They'll say, yeah, I'm selling my house. They don't have not selling, I'm sorry, renting my home. They have absolutely no, it's kind of a hustle in order to just kind of generate money
Yeah.
and not have to provide the product.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's what Hedger Hashgraph, that was the problem whenever we're talking about these things, right? We want to see them as what problem is this solving? That's what the utility actually is for those of you guys who are not familiar with that. So Hedger Hashgraph was trying to solve the problem, scamming,
Yep.
unable to verify ownership, et cetera, and he wanted to do it in real time, as Grizz was explaining before. What the World Economic Forum wants to do is to use that idea for nefarious reasons. And remember, this is always a war against the people.
Yeah.
Always.
Is
So you
what
always
I'm
want to look
typing?
at it. Go ahead.
Do y'all see what I'm typing in the chat? It's
No.
mine
I
says private
don't.
chat, but I don't see it over on the.
Yes, I'm getting your chats, but I don't know why the team is not getting it.
I'm not
Are you
seeing it.
able to type right under where the chatters are?
Nah, at all.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste it into the chat for you.
Yeah, do that. All
So
right.
here we go.
Now, who was that? Hold on. It was.
Was it KW1?
Nah,
And
it's
then Michael
Michael
Lawrence had
Lawrence.
a
He
question.
asked. Michael Lawrence said, "What do you think about Bone?" Okay, Bone is part of the Shiba Inu network. Shiba Inu is still a meme token because it doesn't have any utilitarian value. I mean, some places will allow you to use Shiba Inu to purchase things, but to be honest with you, if I was you, I would keep it because it may be worth something by 2024, 2025, when the next bull cycle starts in 2024, in April of 24, when the halving happens. But you know, I suspect that you got it because it was less than a penny. That's how I was thinking. Okay, when I first got in, and they'll tell you, Gordon and Aaron will tell you, I was thinking like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm cheap as hell because I got 4 daughters and 3 grandkids. I gotta be cheap at some point. But sometimes if you don't spend no money, you ain't gonna make no money. If you do a little bit of research and find out what is going to be used in the future, then you should be good. Let me give you an analogy, okay? We are on here to try to help you guys get ahead or get on the train that has already left the station. Right now, to this moment, we are at where Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, IBM, all the mugs in the 90s, that was, that was before they even became publicly traded companies, before they became uber wealthy or ultra wealthy. That's where we are right now. Okay? So you need to get in where you fit in. You need to get in where you fit in, because if you don't get any of these assets, I guarantee you will be sorry. And it's not to put any fear in you, but it's because if you don't own any assets and custody any of these assets to where you can, because in a little bit, you're going to be able to stake a lot of these, because we'll have, the few people that have digital assets like us, they already know that some of us are going to become wealthy in the future.
Yes.
They just don't want everybody becoming wealthy.
No.
All right.
And they were okay with a few slipping through the cracks, but the
Yeah.
problem is too many of us
Yeah,
started
exactly.
slipping through the cracks, and they wasn't feeling that, right? They still want to keep their feet on our necks. Let's consider that, right? That policy hasn't changed from the 60s or before that.
Yeah, at all. Just like, a lot of people don't even know how old the internet is. I think the internet was created back in the 40s or 50s. Okay.
And the military has been using it since the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So it was created in the 50s. Don't forget about. I already talked. Ken already talked about XDC. XDC is used for trade finance, and XDC is. They already did some live. The reason why XDC was created is because those shipping containers to move stuff that's traded, like on shipping containers to go from country to country. They had what is it called? The paperwork that it's called. It's called
The manifest.
The
It's a shipping
manifest.
manifest.
All that shit. All that's going digital. Okay.
Yes,
It's
and in
cumbersome
order
to have.
real-time transactions, we want to
Yeah.
know where this cargo ship is
Yeah.
right
Yep.
now, not
Right
where it
now.
last was 48 hours ago.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I haven't forgot about XDC. I got a nice little holding of XDC. I got half of it on my broker website. Shout out to CalebandBrown.com. And I got some in my wallet, my cold storage wallet. And that's another thing. When it comes to storing these assets, you don't want it on an exchange. Get your stuff off of an exchange, because if you don't have the keys to it, you will not have it if something happens. I'm trying to get a quick buck with Shin next bull run. Good luck, Stone Age. Good luck.
I'm not familiar with Shin, so I can't speak on it.
You know, I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm looking for a quick buck too. But you got to understand, Shin or Stone Age. I'm sorry. You gotta understand that sometimes, you know, to catch the market is hard as hell unless you're an actual trader that knows the trends, that can read the candles. It's hard as hell to sell at the top of the market, and it's hard as hell to buy at the bottom of the market because nobody knows where it is. Okay, the markets are all on sentiment. It's all on how people like us are thinking about it. That's stocks, that's crypto, all of that. All of that stuff is going by emotions. And there is a quantum computer that reads different websites, reads different Google searches, and it goes by sentiment of the average people that's out here in the world. And that's why this stuff fluctuates.
Grizz, we talked about, Chief, we talked about last episode. I had mentioned about the people who go to Harvard, MIT.
Yeah.
These physicists who are recruited to trade on Wall Street. And what you just mentioned was quant trading. They use quant trading with these bots, with these people, like I said,
quantum training.
Yep.
Trading.
And those boxes are on the physical market floor.
Yeah.
All it is a computer. All it is a computer. A bot is a computer.
We're saying that you have the highest technology available on the physical floor in order to front run the trade in front of the person at home using their, Samsung AE4 from 2020. You know what I mean?
So
trying to get that trade.
Yeah, so basically all it is, okay, the reason why we had that semiconductor, that little slow up with the semiconductor is because of because they wanted to make sure that they had enough processors created, quantum processors created so that they can do what they need to do to stay on top. And when I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be. Okay, so you're absolutely right with that. The trading floor, when we see, they got us trained to see in our mind people on Wall Street going back and forth with those vests on, yelling and screaming, picking up a phone, talking shit. The computers,
they trade tickets,
the tickets and all that shit when he's growing up, like, hold on, bling, 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 bling. Nah, man. Right now, they got computers doing that stuff. They got AI doing it, and you cannot defeat it. You cannot call it like they can, because a quantum computer is processing stuff so way faster than the human mind can even do it. So
real quick, Pauline
ADA
just said that she's jaded and she's fighting to stay engaged. Pauline, tell us a little bit more so we can see if maybe we can answer some questions that you have.
Yep. Ken is talking about, VeChain, and ADA.
ADA.
I own VeChain.
We have
I own a decent amount of VeChain, and VeChain is basically VeChain is used to verify products. So there's a video on Twitter. This girl was in this clothing store, and she got her phone out. She wanted to know if a article of clothing was real. She scanned the article of clothing. I sent it to you, Aaron. You got it in your. I sent it to you on Twitter. X.
On Twitter, I don't
whatever the hell
use
it's
my
called.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go on there.
Yeah.
I don't know Twitter.
Yeah. So she scanned it with her phone in VeChain, the VeChain app, and it verified that article of clothing, where it was made. This long list of things came up, where it was made,
But the
where it was
authentication
transported.
of things in real time, right? That's an awesome platform. And one more time, just so that we're clear, because I think somebody wasn't clear on it. Whenever Grizz is explaining that this has a utility or this is a meme coin, it has no utility, it means that it does not solve a problem. So what Grizz is saying now is the utility of VeChain is that it verifies authenticity in real time.
Yep. So yeah,
awesome.
VeChain and ADA Cardano. ADA is Cardano. Yeah, that will be used. I see Stone is still stuck on Shiba Inu. I got a few million. I got a few million sheep. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping it because it'll go up. But after a while, it ain't gonna be used. If it ain't gonna be used for nothing, it ain't gonna survive, man.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know.
So she's worried about VeChain. So Pauline,
that don't mean get rid of it. You can be worried about it all you want to.
Hold it.
I would not get rid of it.
Pauline, just so that we have an understanding, VeChain has an absolutely necessary, is what I would use, utility in the authenticity of items in real time. So understand too that the market goes through what we call cyclical changes, right? We call it the ebbs and flows of the market. Even if VeChain pulls back a little bit because of what's going on in the news, the war, what else? Stuff that's happening, Trump's tweeting from, county. Hold it, right? You want to be able to have what we call a low time preference, right? Just be patient. This is for the long term. So don't get discouraged yet, because you have to understand that VeChain is going to be a utility that most manufacturers are going to need, that a lot of retailers are going to utilize. Even if we own nothing and we're faking the happy about it, these corporations are still going to need these utilities. So I would absolutely, we have VeChain. We've had it for a while, right, Grizz?
Oh yeah, and it's been at 1 cent. It's been at 1 cent for a long time, ain't it?
We just hold it.
Hold it, yeah.
It's been in between 1 and 2 cents for a long time. Juice HD, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna hold my shit. It'll pay later. I'm holding it. You're right. I'm holding it because I got it. As long as it don't go to zero, it has some type of value, right? Yep. The market could already be predetermined. That's a possibility.
Well, they manipulate the market.
They manipulate it because they know. Yeah.
But the ebbs and flows, because he used to study the market, the ebbs and flows do have like its own algorithm.
Well, yeah, it does, because you follow like a market cycle. That's why we always talk about macroeconomics, because you got to zoom out, right?
Yep.
That's what they say about Bitcoin, zoom out, because you got to look at these cycles over 20-year periods, 40-year periods, and stuff like that. They go all the way out to 100-year periods.
The big picture.
Yeah, the big picture. So, and make sure that you stand. I know a lot of people want to catch that 10 bagger and come up on a lick, but
we all do.
Yeah.
Zoom out, something might happen in 20, 40 years to see where the economic cycle is going, and also the business cycle. So like I said,
and I don't even think, Gordon, I don't even think it's going to take 20 or 40 years, man. I think within 10 years, a lot of these assets are going to have floors to where it's not going to go below a certain price, because it's going to be doing things that it's going to need to be at a certain price in order to be able to do some of these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't say I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I'm looking at the chat and I'm.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say most definitely, because that's what people were trying to find, the floor and you can see that rebound and coming back up. You know, they tried to find the floor on Bitcoin. They have different numbers that they put in there, but you want to find the floor. And you're right, the floor will be there for us, and you can kind of always accumulate. That's why we say dollar cost average, so you can accumulate slowly, even if at the floor, and then it'll go back up, and you will benefit.
And
But
he also, go ahead.
but you got to be patient.
But tell them
Yeah.
too, the dollar cost averaging helps to mitigate.
Yeah, dollar cost averaging mitigates the volatility and the asset. So Bitcoin is very volatile, but I know other crypto
Even more volatile.
they're more volatile. But if you just buy them and you just average down, average up,
it helps to mitigate some of your risk, some of the volatility. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's the age old slow and steady wins the race, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pauline said you guys need to offer a class like was offered before. Oh, okay. For us old and young heads. That's so funny. I'm your mom's age, but fighting. My mommy is 81, 82 years old. I was a late life baby. That's why sometimes I forget words. But I don't think you that old. I forget words because I'm a late life baby. But yeah, Grizz, right? You on here now, about to get Grizz in trouble. They would like a class, and I think the three of us, can put that class together. What do you think?
Yeah, we can put a class together. I'm good. You know, I'm typing something in about I Trust Capital.
I'm 21, y'all. Don't be doing the math either, because y'all know I got that 22-year-old son.
And you know, I Trust Capital is the realness.
Yes.
Go check that out, man. You can have some retirement.
You putting some in the chat?
Precious metals and or cryptocurrency. So check that out.
Let me talk about I Trust Capital. I retired. Okay, I'm semi-retired now. I went back to work because I can't sit around and do nothing. If y'all can't tell that I'm kind of hyped when it comes to shit like this. I Trust Capital. I took my 401k stuff and all of that, and I put it in something that I can control. Okay, because I ain't want to get rug pulled by, you know, a corporation, how they Enron people back in the day. So in I Trust Capital, you got digital assets, Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, VeChain, XRP, XLM. I don't know if they put Quant in there yet. Algorand, and I bought up those assets. But one thing that I like about it, they also have gold and silver in there as well. You can't touch it until you 59 and a half, because that's the laws for having a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. I have both. Yes. I have some monies in a traditional IRA on I Trust Capital, and I have some monies in more money in a Roth IRA at I Trust Capital. And the reason why I have more in a Roth is because the Roth already paid the taxes. So everything that I made on a Roth for Roth IRAs, you know, you pay a pre-tax, okay? And then once you go to cash it out when you're 59 and a half, all your taxes is paid, all that cheddar is yours. The traditional, you pay when you take whatever you want out.
Right.
So look at itrustcapital.com for your IRAs. It's something that, you know, you can see every day. You can interact with the people via phone call or a chat or email, and they can't give you financial advice. But, you know, if you do a little research, which you should be doing, anything that you do, you should look it up. You should find out about it. Don't just blindly grab some shit. I was doing that for a little bit, and, you know, it don't pay to do that. What I did, let me tell y'all how I got on my journey. I've been knowing Gordon and Aaron for over 20 years, well over 20 years. Okay. About 10 years. About 10 years ago. How long ago was it?
Has it been that long already?
I don't know. It's been a while, but they was contacting me because they had moved.
I was bothering them.
Yeah, that's all right. But I
Bothering
mean, they family. Leave
that man
So
alone.
Leave that man
they
alone.
can. Hey, I allow them to bother me like that. Now, if I ain't love y'all like that, then shit, I would, I would have ghosted your ass. But
Well, for a while you were answering me back.
Don't go.
nah, it wasn't that. It was just everything has a season, guys. I wasn't
Yes,
ready for it.
absolutely.
I wasn't ready for it.
Proverbs
But
and Lamentations.
something told me I'm gonna give y'all the realest of the real. I like to play video games. I like playing Mortal Kombat. I like playing football games on my Xbox. Okay. So I was sitting at my desk playing my game, and I had just finished a little session in Mortal Kombat, and I smoked some weed every once in a while. I was smoking some weed, and I was like, the universe spoke to me, and I was like, damn, this is my last blunt. And then the universe is cold, man. I love the universe. The universe was like, because I was thinking, damn, I got to re-up, and the universe was like, you know what? Instead of buying that half for a couple hundred, why don't you take that 200 and buy some crypto? And it was like what the hell was I thinking? You right. And all it was, I was telling myself that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. And I'm the type of person, when I get into something, I kind of like pit bull that shit. I dig into it, right? So I stopped watching all my little shows on Netflix. I stopped binge watching. I stopped all of that. I stopped watching the MSNBCs and all the news network bullshit. I started getting on YouTube. I started getting on the internet, and I started finding out about the great wealth transfer that BK Crypto just said. I started found out about crypto. And once I did the research, it all made sense.
Yeah.
Because the platforms, the stuff that we on right now is not sustainable for the long haul. Everything changes. Nothing stays constant. Absolutely nothing stays constant at all. And if you don't change with your environment, you are not living. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You dead.
Like, you might not be physically dead, but mentally you can be dead.
You dead. Remember, and remember what they say, the old school saying is, like you said, nothing stays constant. The only constant is change.
Change.
So
I call my wife the first lady. That's her handle for when she out spending more of our money now. her and my daughters and stuff, and my grandson, because he want everything. We give him everything. But
we got one of those downstairs in the court.
Oh yeah. So I told her, I said, look, I said, baby, I said, I ain't gonna lie to the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, just spoke to me, and I'm gonna do it. I said, I'm gonna take the discretionary money. So this money I'm spending on alcohol and chronic, I said, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna buy some digital assets, and then I'm gonna build up to the point to where I can buy at least one Bitcoin. And I said, we're gonna hold on to it. I said, because it's gonna lead us into the future, so that my little Santana, that's my youngest grandson, so that if I can make him a millionaire, then my other grandson, Jeremy, my granddaughter, Janiyah, if they are all millionaires or multimillionaires, everybody from Santana in between back to me will be wealthy. And what I'm planning on doing, I plan on doing what the Rothschilds did and all other wealthy families did.
Minus the nefarious world events in order to
I ain't got the capability of going over to another country and bombing them and taking their assets. But I'm gonna utilize the assets that's right in front of our face. We think about insurance as something that is used when we die. We're supposed to use insurance while we living.
Live. Yeah.
So I'm going to use a whole cash value or a index universal life insurance policy to finance our future. And when you got whole cash value or index universal life insurance policies, you can borrow against it. And when you fund it, so like say if you fund index universal life insurance policy, if it's written correctly, if you fund it for $100,000, within a couple of weeks, you'll be able to take a loan of $80,000 because that's 80% of it. You'll be able to take that out and buy some real world assets. So if I was y'all, I would look into that as well. And when I talk about real world assets, I'm talking about real estate. I ain't talking about meta. I ain't talking about what's that shit called? The
Oh, you
where
talking
they
about the
buy?
metaverse?
Yeah, the metaverse. They got me effed up if they think that I'm gonna buy some virtual land. Virtual
Well,
is what it is. Where is it? Can you walk on it? You got to put some headsets on to access it. Are you really there? No, you ain't there. There's people paying thousands and millions of dollars to have some virtual property to do what? I want to own some land so that I can put some container homes on it, and then I can Airbnb it, or I buy some land to where if the next corporation need it, they're gonna have to pay me because I own the land.
now I do want to
Okay.
say this, right? I want to piggyback onto what you're saying. For those of you who are like, with the real estate, we did real estate. I ain't crazy about it. So you can also find a substitution, right? You got to
REITs
understand that Bitcoin is categorized by the IRS as
as real estate.
property in cyberspace. So if you
Yeah.
were going to do a virtual property,
Own
instead of
Bitcoin.
fooling around with the metaverse and making him more wealthy than he is, y'all notice his little Hawaiian house didn't get even a smudge of
You
smoke
had that
on it,
blue
right?
roof. Neither did
Right?
Oprah's.
You can buy property in cyberspace by dollar cost averaging your Bitcoin. If the IRS is categorizing it as property in cyberspace and you do feel like, oh, I'm not ready yet, or I'm not in a position to, because you got to remember, real estate comes with obligations and responsibility.
Yep.
So if you don't know what you're doing,
You know,
it
if you
can
don't
be a
want to take the
liability
time to mess with it.
before it
Yep.
becomes an asset, right? So I
Yeah.
just like this ain't financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Y'all know the
Nope.
script. But we do want you guys to see all of your options. And that's one of the problems we have as a community, is that sometimes we don't understand what our options are.
Yeah.
Two, you brought up the living God's name, and you know what he did? He showed out just now. I want you to read the last message I typed to you in the private chat. And then I'm going to read another message to you to show you God is working. Go ahead and read it out loud.
All I see is
This is
much better
engagement.
engagement than Facebook. Consider doing a show with us at least once a month. Yeah, shit, I do
Read
it twice a
Bam's
month.
message. But I want you to read Bam's message.
Where Bam at? Got to bring Chief on at least once a month. He's a real one. Thanks, bruh. Yeah, I mean,
I wrote that to him, Bam, like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, shit, I got time. I got time today. Today I got time.
But I mean, I want to ask you also, Chief, about when you're talking about owning property. What do you think about owning property globally? You know,
Yeah.
places.
So one of my plans, and y'all gotta excuse me. I'll be stepping all on y'all when I'm talking. I'm sorry, but once I get something in my head, I want to get it out before I forget that shit.
That's the Aries in you.
I'm gonna own some land in Belize, and then Belize is gonna be the jump off. Once I get my spot in Belize and get it up and running, I'm gonna go down to Colombia or somewhere else that's friendly to own real estate. Okay. And I'm gonna buy property and I'm gonna erect a structure and I'm gonna have something there that's gonna be viable for either Airbnb or some type of business. And then once I get, because I'm the type of person, when I go somewhere, I talk to people. I ain't no standoffish type person. If I can communicate with you and we can get a rapport, and yeah, I'm the type of person, I try to read people too. I don't just let anybody get within arm's length of me to try to take advantage of me. I can kind of feel shit. I can see stuff. I ain't the type of guy that's gonna let you just like run over me, because I straight up, the way I was raised, I come from the shoulders and the heartbeat. I ain't playing. But I ain't saying that to try to be hard, but I'm just letting y'all know how I am.
Stop it, man. Stop it. You in your 50s, man. You're gonna hurt your back.
I don't care, man. I ain't gonna let nobody touch me, man. But I'm gonna do things like that. That's gonna build wealth. If they can do it, I can do it. Because we were the first beings on this in this realm in existence, and if we did it, and we have been doing it for millions of years, or hundreds of thousands of years, whatever, we got to get back to it. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, everything goes in cycles. Our cycle is coming back. We're coming back to prominence. And with us coming back to prominence, we need to change the way we think about stuff. We've been taught a lot of stuff that's not right and that's not good for us. And we've been taught a lot of stuff that's been taught to us by people who absolutely despise us.
Yes.
They'll smile in our face, but they don't like us.
Smile
and
in
that's
your
fine
face,
that you don't
glad
like
to break
me.
bread with the God. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
You can, you can not like me. That's fine. I don't care if you don't like me, but you're going to respect me or you're going to get away from me.
Right.
So, it's one of them things where I'm going to do things like that. I got First Lady on board. We're going to do different things because she's a scholar. I'm educated. She's more educated than I am. All of my kids are educated, and we educated in a westernized society, but we educated globally and we are educated universally. We don't just, we tie in esoteric and the physical. We tie in all of that because life, this thing that we call life, is way more deeper than everybody thinks. Okay, we ain't even scratched the surface of it because we've been hidden. A lot of stuff has been hidden from us. A lot of things, and that's a whole nother live we can do too. And y'all know that we get into some deep conversations.
Yes,
but a lot of
this
stuff.
Is one thing I want to address.
I want to give. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to give a shout out to Bam Hardry. He says you have Eric. I'm not
Eric Thomas energy. You know Eric Thomas.
If you're familiar with Eric Thomas,
you know Eric Thomas, don't you?
I don't know. I might.
I'm in beast mode. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah,
you're gonna love him.
Yeah, he
getting
it in.
So. Not Marshawn Lynch beast mode, but close to
that.
Yeah. And then Ken asked the question, and Simon and I have been trying to put this together for a long time.
Okay.
So Ken asked where we're located. So unfortunately, Ken, Simon and I are located close to Mexico City in the country of Mexico.
Yeah.
And the chief is in Cincinnati. We lived in Cincinnati for a long time. They both worked at the fire department together, so on and so forth. But what Simon and I have been trying to do for a very long time now, and maybe we can finally get it to come to fruition, is we want to establish something where we can meet up like this, maybe not live, or we can do it live. It's just if the people are comfortable with it, in a group setting where we can really sit and chop up game. So like Grizz would be on, Ken, you would be on, BK Crypto would be on, Bam would join us, where everybody, instead of you guys writing in the chats, we can kind of be like in a virtual meetup, but be consistent about it, right?
Like a Zoom call,
Or it could even be this or something like that. Like if you want, I would prefer to do it live because our conversations can teach someone else. Like a question that Courtney would have, somebody else in the Internet of Things may have that question and watch our show. We meet up with the Colonel. You guys in the chat know him as Crazy Bronx Don.
Yeah.
He is a colonel. He's a retired colonel of the United States Air Force. We give him his respect. We put that respect on his name.
He's a doctor.
Yeah. That's the one I got to get with about XRP, ain't it?
Yes, and I was going to talk to you about that offline because we're trying to meet up on Saturday. But what I would like is Chapel House Love said Discord. I am not crazy about Discord. My son uses it. He's
Discord
12,
is
and I think maybe that's why
man.
I don't like it.
But Discord is kind of hard to follow to me. I guess I need a class on Discord.
I think I don't like it because my 12-year-old uses it for Roblox. I think that's what my
you better buy some stock in Roblox. Roblox is being Roblox is being used. They're starting to use digital assets.
But Simon and I are old school. We dated before there was text messaging and stuff like that. So we like to see people. We like to look in the iris of people's eyes and to chop up game with them, talk to them, get feedback from them. KW1 don't like Discord either. But family, that's all.
Yeah, it's too busy.
We would like to do some, but we want to be consistent, right? So we want to know that at least once a month, the majority of the people would join and we could have that environment of the melding of the minds. Now, I want to tell y'all something. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a man, I don't think he made it past third grade, right? He wasn't well educated, and he said he didn't need to be educated because the people around him were brilliant. And that's how he was able to build his, what would you call it? Empire, right? The Rockefellers. I ain't gonna go into their background with their dad being called Devil Bill and all of that stuff. But the
Yeah.
people that they kept around them were brilliant. And you just understand that even when we look at antebellum slavery and stuff like that, them
Yeah.
plantation owners had brilliant people who worked for them. They
Yeah,
didn't
they
have
has
to be educated.
look, go back to Ford. The reason why Ford got the Model T going is because the first car that was made was created. God damn, somebody got a loud ass car, man. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's the Model T.
Damn.
Yeah, Model T.
The first car that was made by a black man. He
Yes,
couldn't get
it
it
was.
patented. Yeah, he couldn't get it patented. Ford took that shit and he ran with it. Ford did not create a car. Ford created the assembly line for the car. That's how Ford got his cheese.
But what he
Because he
did
cranked
create
it
was
out.
an empire on the minds of the people that surrounded him. And we
Yeah.
need to take that and run. They taught us to be divisive, right? Light-skinned ones don't like the dark-skinned ones.
What?
House
That was
Negroes
done
don't
for a
like,
reason.
I mean,
right?
That was done for a
talk about
reason.
how they use the factory model to teach school children.
Oh, yeah. So y'all know that before it was the school to prison pipeline, it was the school to factory pipeline.
Yeah.
So it was to indoctrinate young children as young as preschool that when they
To be able to
hear the
work on the
bell,
factory.
they're supposed to perform an action.
Yep.
When the teacher don't run, they were learning instructions. And the idea was, and this came from the Rockefellers, y'all do y'all research, was to make them just smart enough to really get things done and do a bit of problem solving, but not so
Yep.
smart that they can come up with a utility, meaning you're not solving big problems in order to profit.
Yeah,
So what
exactly.
we want to do, this is our vision. I'm putting it out there. I'm talking to the unit. I'm going to speak it into existence. Is we want to create a round table of people who are consistent, who are going to
Yep.
join us at this round table, right? I would like to do it once a week, but we're okay doing it twice a month, right? That's once every 2 weeks.
The
But to
reason
have
why she
that
want to do it.
commitment,
Yeah. The reason
right?
why
To
she
have
want to
that
do it is
commitment.
because
Go
KD
ahead.
knows something that I don't know and that y'all don't know. KW1 knows something that I don't know that you don't know.
Right.
BK Crypto knows something that I don't know that you don't know. And Bam knows something that I don't know
Right.
that you don't know. And if
And
we
we
can
come
all get together,
together.
if we can all come together, look, this is an analogy that is 1,000% true. Okay. When you take a group of people and put them together for an extended period of time, they all become like-minded. That is the
Right.
way that we were created.
Right.
If you took, and this is real physiology, if you took 20 women, put them in the same household, for an extended period of time, I'm talking months, if not years, their cycles will be around the same time. And the
Yeah,
reason
they
why
cycle
is
together.
because it's nature. All right. We are of the earth. We are from the earth. And think tanks, like BK said.
Right.
Think
And we're
tanks.
not content creators where we need to be seen and we need to be heard and we
Nah.
want likes and we want clicks and we want clout. We want to establish a clandestine group of people. Doesn't have to be large, but all are welcome, right? So
Yep.
that we can get together and say, okay, here's some agenda items. Let's talk about the tokens that are doing the best right now and what the roadmap looks like for them. Okay, now
Yep.
let's talk about the things to come society-wise, things we need to
Yep.
watch for, things that are rolling out. Because everybody, y'all know I do the conspiracy stuff, so that's my thing. This is the market guy. This man knows how to read the market, right? Y'all know Grizz is on top of the tokens, the utility of the tokens. He's on top of the court cases. all of those things. And then you guys in the chat, you guys are on top of the things that you're on top of that we may not be aware of. And that way we can expand and enlarge and create our own organization. And it's free, right?
Yeah.
Other people want to charge $1,499 a month to teach you crypto or teach you this or teach you that, and they ain't got no money.
Yeah,
I say
exactly.
it all the time. I say, you ain't got no money.
Yeah,
What are you
they
doing?
do that. They do that on purpose. Look, I guarantee you, somebody that's in the chat right now that has the next big thought that can come into fruition, that can make everybody that's on this live jump off and become millionaires. It's
That's
the
why
law.
I think it's important. Go ahead, Grizz. I'm sorry.
This is the law of averages. I'm just saying. That's all I wanted to say. It's real. I'm telling you, it's too many great minds that's in one space for us not to be able to, whether it's profit, and there's many ways of profit. It's not financially. We can come up with some. I might have some information that could help you with an ailment that you have.
Something like that. And that's what I'm saying, that it'll be
Yeah.
comprehensive, right? It's not just money, because you guys know that Simon and I, we talk about lifestyle. We talk about the best ways to help gird your family against what's coming. We talk about the spiritual aspect of things that's happening. We really want to, okay, Grizz is your man for the hardware wallets, KW1. We really want to be able to cover your questions, but we also want it to be comprehensive enough where people have enough information about their options that they can form a strategic plan, or at least the beginning of one.
Yeah, I mean, good example. And just like y'all know First Lady, y'all know my wife. She's a registered nurse. She has a beautiful mind. She has a master's. Okay, so she has her RN, she has her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and she has an MBA. All right, because she didn't want to limit herself to just nursing. She knows business, but she is cold with nursing. If it's something that she don't know, she gonna find that shit out, because that's just how she is. She'll dig into it. This is the only person that I've ever met. I used to write her papers because I can type. All right, because that was one of the easy classes. I was a football player. I took typing and shit. I'm like, shit, this is kind of cool. So I took typing. I can type pretty good. I used to type her papers when she was in school for nursing. So she took chemistry. I never seen her open the chemistry book. She passed it with an A. That's a smart person. That's a smart ass person right there. Okay. Who is Grizz? I'm Grizz, the chief. That's my last name is. My last name start with a G, and it sounds like grizzly bear. All right, Grizz is me. That's who I am, KW1. So when she say Grizz, she's military minded. She's saying part of my last name.
Sorry, I call my husband by his last name.
Yeah, when I was in the military, everybody called me Grizz. When I was on the fire department, everybody called me Grizz, because that's what the fire department was, a military-esque style occupation, so we usually know each other's last name other than their first name. So when you hear Grizz, it's all right. You good, bro. You call me Chief, you call me Grizz, just don't call me asshole. I'm just messing with you.
Call me
But not yet. Yeah, but it's one of them things to where it just stuck. So it's easy for her to remember Grizz. My first name Percy. People, just like at the Sharonville Fire Department that I work at now, everybody call me by my first name.
Oh, really?
It's it's taking me a minute to get used to it, but I don't care. It is my name. Shit.
It took me forever to get used to y'all calling him by his first name. When I got to Cincinnati,
yeah,
I was like, "Who you look? Oh, yeah, I know Gordon. I'm married to him." I call him Simon.
Yeah, and then down here in Mexico, they call me Simone. Like Simone Boulevard.
But it's okay here because they call me Senora Simone. Nobody calls me Aaron.
Okay.
But I do want to address, BK Crypto said, it looked like the masses are refusing to see what's happening. I tell y'all all the time, my Facebook timeline, my Instagram timeline looks like we are in the Renaissance era.
Yeah.
It looks like they are eating cake.
Yeah.
They are drinking mimosas. I mean,
Yep.
people are living their best life on my timeline. And Grizz, I tell you all the time, I am absolutely and utterly concerned about it, because the reality that Simon and I and Grizz now that we're coming together to talk about doesn't match the reality people are living. And it makes me wonder, what do your algorithms look like?
Yeah, it
That you're
looks
not
like
getting any news that
it's
this.
it's it's booty shaking, it's fights, it's bullshit. That's a distraction. That's what it is. Okay, you care, you care because that's the feminine energy. That's what you are supposed to do. You care about stuff like that. I got to the point to where I'm gonna tell your ass a couple times, and then if you don't come on in, that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep on telling you, you should do this, you should do that, you should do the other. As I learn stuff and you don't want to learn it, I ain't gonna keep on telling you.
Right.
Because I gotta move on to the next thing, because if I keep on focusing on you and you worried about the fights that's on Facebook, the booty shaking that's on Instagram, I'm gonna miss out on what I gotta get for my family. And I'm not
Right.
gonna do that. So
Right.
I keep on telling you, Aaron, that you need to care less about that. The people that want to know, I'm serious, and it sounds cruel, but I'm not gonna keep on taking a horse to water and telling him to drink, but the horse is looking at me like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. Okay, well then don't drink. I'm gonna find me a horse or something that's gonna be able to carry my goods, that's gonna get me over to the other side. Because if I don't, then I'm gonna be right there with your dumb ass, and you a thirsty ass horse. So that's what it is. I'm not. I'm
I
gonna tell
show it to
people a few
Simon all
times.
the time, and I say,
Yeah,
"Am I
it looks
jumping the
crazy.
gun? Like
I
this
don't
is."
even post on Facebook no more. I just look at it. I'll heart y'all stuff, and then I'll move on, man. Because these fools, I try to tell them stuff, and you see me post stuff and tell them about the ISO tokens, tell them about what's coming on, what's coming right at them. It's a freight train coming at humanity right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Okay, the
And you
system
standing in
of
the middle of the track. You ain't off to the side or
yeah.
nothing.
I'm on the train. Okay, I'm on the train. The train is gaining speed, and there's people running after the train. I'm on the last car, and I'm reaching my arm out, and I'm pulling up as many as I can. But if you don't run faster and get your ass to the point to where you can grab my hand, you're gonna be left behind. And if you can be left behind, then it's your fault. We got left behind in the 90s because we ain't know no better. We could have been in on the Amazons. We could have been in on the the Googles. We could have been in on all that. We could have been in on all the internet stuff, but we wasn't, because we ain't know no better. This is our time now to know, and what we're doing right now is trying to help. But if y'all don't want help, then that's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I love humanity. I love people. I love my 9 ether beings, because we 9 ether beings, because our hair curl up. It makes a coil. It's our antenna. It's what reaches out to the cosmos, to the universe. We are galactic people, okay? And some of y'all might not believe that, but we are. We're the first man. Everything derives from us. Every single thing derived from us. We're the first beings that was here in this realm. Flat out, period, full stop. Everything derived from us. And if you can't at least try to see it, then that's your fault. It ain't mine. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn until the day I die. Period.
Right.
Because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what we was put here to do. We were put here to learn as much as we can about the physical and the spiritual, so that we can ascend to whatever dimension that we are supposed to ascend to. When we come back, we're gonna know more than what we did. And don't think that you ain't been here before, because you have. You've been here before. Just as sure as my grandson Santana knows stuff. We looking at this cat. He 3 years old. He'll tell us some stuff, or he'll point out some stuff, and we be like, "How the hell does he know that?" I'll ask his mama, I ain't teaching him that. And it's like he can read. It's like he can understand stuff. It's like he's been here before. That's because he has. We doing this over and over in order to get it right so that we can get up to where we're supposed to be at. Because we have been suppressed as a collective because of what we are. Okay, because of the melanin, which is a real thing that's in our body. Okay, we have been suppressed, and they did it for a reason. They had to, because that's a whole nother thing. That's
a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother. I'm about to get into
It's a
some
whole
shit.
nother 2-hour show. But
Hell
we're at
yeah.
the 1 hour 55-minute mark. We're gonna wrap up. Plus, it is Sabbath for us. Somebody like your sweater, Grizz. They like the XRP Army shirt.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I looked online and got it. I think I got this on Amazon or some shit. I don't know. Probably. Yeah, I think I got it.
And I and Simon, we're gonna put together those classes. We do want y'all to mull over the idea of a meetup. We would like to do a virtual meetup. Exactly, Dearbit, because y'all are excellence, and we want everybody at the table so we can sit down and, like Grizz said, we can just kind of, all learn from one another, and it be a comprehensive learning environment. So serious inquiries only. People
each one teach one.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to. Simon and I are going to work on putting the logistics together. Grizz, we definitely want to chat with you more, because this is where you're supposed to be at. I've been trying to do this with you for I don't know how long. This is where you're supposed to be.
I mean, I already know it is. And like I keep telling you and everybody else, everything happened for a reason. It's a reason why we're here right now. It's a reason why you contacted me years ago and was trying to get me to come on in. It's a reason why I came in when I came in. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. We are where we are supposed to be at this particular moment. It was already predestined. It was already written. We are here now. I ain't worried about what didn't happen in the past, because we can't go back and revisit that shit right now. Okay? We can't do it. But all we can do is go forward and make shit better. I've been telling y'all for the past few years, it's the reason why everything happened the way it happened. And it's going to happen the way it happened because that's the way it's supposed to happen. And we're going to be better for it. So we're going to get together. The people that's in this chat, if y'all want to get together with us, that's fine. If not, then, that's fine too. We ain't going to hate on y'all. We still going to welcome y'all in. You're going to come in whenever. You're going to come in when you are supposed to come in. Okay?
Yeah.
So, it ain't nothing to where you should have did it. Yeah, we ain't that type of people, man. I ain't got time to be doing all that shit. I ain't gonna hate on you. They'll tell you, those two that's on the other end of this camera, they'll tell you I ain't no hating ass person, man. I don't hate on people because I ain't got time for it. I've been hated on the majority of my life. And that's fine. I kind of like it now. I like it when people hate on me because it's telling me that I did something right.
Yeah. Definitely.
What?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test pilot this idea I have, right? I just wanna I'm gonna put it out there to you guys now. Next time we go live, and I wish I could give y'all notice. We'll definitely have notice on the next show so we can establish something. But what we will do is,
well, Aaron,
yeah,
everybody that's in the chat, if you with it, I am authentic. Thank you, BK. I'm 110% authentic.
We wouldn't have him on here if he wasn't.
Yeah, I can do nothing but keep it real. Everybody in the chat, put your email in the chat.
They can. So I was just going to say that. It's going to kick them out because it's going to look like bots doing their stuff. But what we're going to do...
Well, put a space in between it. Put a space in between each character.
What I want you guys to do is, you guys know on our shows, because you watch our shows, you usually be able to get my email in the Dropbox. I didn't do it today because I was really trying to figure out how to get Grizz on, so I was distracted. But you guys have access to my email address on any of the old shows. Send me an email that you're interested. We can only have 10 guests on this particular stream because I still want to go live so other people can watch a group of Black people work together harmoniously.
Well, right? Can we do it on Zoom? Because I know you can have more on Zoom. So,
yeah, we can. Okay, so
let's do it like this.
Go ahead and email me that you're interested, make sure you put in the handle that we know you by as well. Like in the email, say, hey, this is KW1, because obviously your email is going to be something different. That way
Yeah.
we can have an idea on who we're talking to. And that way we can kind of work together to establish a day and a time where we can sit down and meet. But we will have some tentative agenda items just to keep it somewhat structured, since it seems like, yeah, we'll do Zoom BK Crypto, no problem. That way it can be a little bit more organized and we can actually achieve and get some things accomplished.
I tell y'all right now, whoever's in this chat, if y'all with it, get a pen. I'm gonna tell you what my email address is, because it won't kick me off if I just fucking say it, right?
Nah. It's in the chat. I keep getting kicked out the chat because I was putting those links in there that you were sending them. Yeah.
So
it
I'm gonna
don't like
say it a
that.
few times before we go out, okay? My email, and then I'll send it over to you, okay, Aaron?
Okay.
My email address is P as in Paul Grisby, GRISBY 2323 at gmail.com. P Grisby 2323 at gmail.com. That's P GRISBY 2323 at gmail.com.
And y'all
I
know
say
y'all can
again.
access my email link from previous shows. So just hop on an old show and hit me right there. My email address is the first thing on there.
And shout out to the chief for having the 2323.
That's right. 23s for life, bruh. That's when we cut an 8.
We recognize
that was their firehouse, y'all, not Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
that was the firehouse number. And y'all got to understand, in Cincinnati, that was one of the busiest firehouses that's in the city of Cincinnati. You know, when I go, like when I went to Sharonville as a fire inspector, even the chief looked up to me like, you know, that was a real firefighter. Like that, because, you know, it's different ways that you go about going into buildings and that's on fire, trying to save somebody's property or trying to save somebody's life. We were an aggressive, and they still are an aggressive firefighting organization. Just like when you see that shit on for 9/11, how them cats with the tank on their back and the helmets on was going inside the building when all the people was running out. We were going inside. We go inside of places where you don't want to go, because we do things that you don't want to do in order to make sure that your property and to make sure that your life is safer than it was before we got there. We did the EMS side of it, you know. We did the EMS side of it, and we did the firefighting side of it. And it's right there. It's pgrisby2323 at gmail.com. And if y'all send me the email, I'm gonna give everybody a full week. So by next Friday, I'll make sure that I send over everybody's email to the host so that she can send out an email list on when we're going to do another show. I'll make it a point to make myself available so that we can chop it up and talk about good stuff, talk about whether it's crypto, whether it's esoteric knowledge, whether it's everyday stuff. I'll have my wife on. She's a registered nurse. Stuff that, you know, you might that could be ailing you or a family member. She loves to give out information that she know. If she doesn't know, when we come back on, if she finds out in time, she'll give you the answer that or avenues to where you can, you know, help yourself. But it's a lot of y'all need to keep y'all ear to the internet and y'all ear to the ground. If it makes sense, 9.5 times 10, 9.5 times out of 10, it's real. My mama used to tell me when I was a little boy, if you hear the same thing from multiple people, there has to be some truth to it. That doesn't mean that the whole thing is true. But if 10 people tell you similar things, some of that shit or the majority of it is true. All right. So, I mean, you know, just keep it real with yourself. Keep it real with your family. Keep it real with with the planet. You know, give blessings to the universe. Give blessings to yourself. Don't put anybody above yourself. Make sure that you're thinking about yourself and your family. If you got plants, talk to your plants. I'm getting ready to start talking to my water before I drink it.
Yes.
Okay. Everything that's around us that's organic is living. Okay. Everything that is around us that's organic is living. Just because we can't physically talk to it and it says, "Hi tree, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. How you doing, Grizz?" Just because I can't do that with that tree does not mean that that tree that I'm looking out at right now is not alive. I go out when it's warm outside. I take my shoes off. I ground myself because there's energy that Mother Earth is giving out that will attach itself to me. I talk to the grass. I talk to the planet. I touch a tree. I ask the tree to allow me to utilize some of its energy to go out through my day, and I feel it. And it's not something that's a mind trick. It is real. Things that have been hidden from us, we are finding out because we are in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of knowing. We are knowing things now that we weren't privy to before.
Things are exposed now. The truth
Yes,
is out now.
the
And then
truth
one
is out.
last announcement, for those of you who are going to email me, y'all know, well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to tell you this now. I do verse by verse Bible study. I know a lot of people have been giving their life back to the Lord. A lot of people have been going back to the living God, the God of the Bible. So if there's any of you like, I really want to get back into my Bible, but when I read it, I have trouble understanding what I'm reading, et cetera, et cetera. I do have a verse by verse Bible ministry. Y'all know I know the history, the culture, the geography. Y'all know I dig into all of that so that you get a comprehensive, it's free, like everything else we do. If that's something that you're interested in, absolutely email me so that we can set up a time that works for you so that we can do the verse by verse Bible study, if that
Yep.
is something you're interested in. I do it
Yep.
regardless if people join me or not.
And
So,
understand that the Bible is about us, y'all. That's our story. That's our real history. It's a story. It's an allegory, but it has a lot of truths in it, and it will allow you to help yourself with other knowledge that you come across, ascend to where you need to ascend to. So don't think that it's some BS. You know, I got my own YouTube channel. I just I
you
got my
gonna get
own
it
YouTube channel.
together.
Nah, Work Your Dream MD said the chief needs his own YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel, and it is hold on, I'm going to it right now, y'all, so y'all can know it. And I'm gonna start posting stuff on there. I'm just gonna start posting little videos here and there. But my YouTube channel is at the Chief LLC. Okay. So I mean, if I only got one subscriber because I ain't really posted nothing because I jump on other people's lives and I start I talk because I don't like to gatekeep. I ain't no gatekeeper. If it's something that I know that can help you, I'm gonna tell your ass. What you do with it, that's on you. If it's helping me and I know it's helping me and I try to help you and you don't help yourself, that's your own damn fault. Okay? But for me to not give you that knowledge, I'm wrong because that's something that could help you, that
Right.
could take you to the next level, whether it's spiritually, financially, socially, mentally, physically. It could help you out. And if I can do that, that's what I want to do. I came to the conclusion that I was called to be in the military as a combat medic for a reason. Okay. I was called to be a firefighter for 28 years and to go into burning buildings, go into nasty ass people's houses to help them out with their medical emergencies. I was called to do that for a reason. All right. I don't do that because I want some type of status. I don't give a damn about a status. I
Yeah,
feel
we don't
bad when people, I tell people that I was in the military, oh, thank you for your service. We all supposed to serve at some point. We all supposed to do shit. Oh, you was a firefighter. Thank you for your service. I don't even like it when people say that shit to me because it's what I was supposed to do. I'm
right.
doing what I was
We
put here to
came to
do.
serve.
Yeah, we came to
That's
serve.
why
That's
we
what we're
not
supposed to
about
do.
clicks. We not about clout. We not about being heard. We are here to serve. And this is why we really want to see if we can kind of get the think tank up and running,
Yeah.
so that everybody can be heard, so we can share all of the things that need to be shared and things can flow accordingly, just like a real organization. And that's what organizations do, is they hire, collaborate, and align with brilliant people.
Yes, and I got one more thing to tell y'all. If y'all tired of paying for services like, you know, television services that is BS, holler at me. You can holler at me on Facebook. I'm gonna put it in the chat. You can put it out there, Aaron. This is the Facebook name that you can holler at me, or the email address. Holler at me, Chet You Betcha. Now, for all my old heads, Chet You Betcha was a was a character on one of those adult was one of those adult cartoons. Or no, he was on Ren and Stimpy or something. But I used to
Yeah,
watch
I
him with
think
my
so.
kids. Remember that?
This
Chet
ain't
You
liking
Betcha.
it.
Yeah, so that's my other Facebook, or you can see me on Facebook. You'll see me on Facebook, but Chet You Betcha. If y'all want to cut the cord because they've been smashing y'all out, because they've been smashing everybody. I was paying almost $350 a month for DirecTV, and I guarantee you ain't gonna pay a third of that.
Mr. Simon don't like none of that. We got Netflix. He allows that, and I think we have Disney because of the kids.
Yep.
He don't want to see no
But
3-digit nothing for a bill.
exactly. But what I'm talking about, you'll have all your Netflix, you'll have all your Hulus, you'll have all your PPVs, you'll have all
These
of that
babies
stuff.
need to be in their Bible anyway. We got
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah.
They gonna be binging stuff. Like, y'all need to be in y'all Bibles.
But for the people that want to, when you're on your downtime and you want to, you know, look at some stuff, I got something for you that's a stable service that, you know, you'll be able to save a lot of money.
Yeah. Y'all holler at
Okay.
Grizz.
Yeah.
Well,
Helium
we're gonna
Network
wrap
phone
this up
service. Okay.
because it is the Sabbath for us. We gotta kind of bring it in prayer and stuff. So we love y'all so much. Thank you guys for giving Grizz the reception that he deserves. This is what I knew was gonna happen, Grizz. Right?
Yeah, you know, I even feel bad when you say I don't deserve it. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I love to do, and that's talking to people.
I'm trying to get you to do what you're supposed to do now for I don't know how many shows. So you guys,
Blessings to you as well.
Weekend. Grizz will be back.
Oh, yeah.
We love y'all. We love y'all.
Much love.